Welcome back to Homestead Dreaming. I'm Kira and today I'm going to be starting my peppers for my spring and summer season. This year's a little bit different than years past because I'm trying to grow enough to be able to do a plant yard sale in the spring when our last frost date has passed. And so I'm going to be sowing a little bit heavier than I normally would to ensure that I have lots of germination and lots of little seedlings, and I will have to separate these out as they get a little bit bigger. I am excited to get started. So first things first, I've cleared off my workstation for the most part. Actually, I haven't at all. But I'm gonna pull out my seed starting mix, which I've already had mixed up. It's a mixture of peat moss, vermiculite, and perlite. I always mix it with boiling hot water, and that helps to kill any fungus gnats that might be in there. Usually you only have to do that with like a pre-prepared seed starting mix that has been sitting outside at your local nursery or big box store, wherever you purchase it from. I'm just in a habit of doing it that way now. So I normally start a plethora of sweet and spicy peppers. This year, last year, I started a whole lot of different peppers just to see what they tasted like. I had a whole lot of varieties of roasting peppers and of seasoning peppers that I had grown for the first time just to see what they were like, that I'm not going to be starting again this year. They just didn't end up getting eaten the way that I was hoping that they would get eaten. I've still got a whole lot of them frozen, and I'm probably going to take them out pretty soon and either can them and turn them into relishes or chutneys or salsa, or dehydrate them for seasoning. But for the most part, we have found that roasting peppers just aren't our cup of tea. And so this year I'm going to shift away from the majority of those and grow mostly bells, which my daughter and I eat up like crazy, and we also eat them in a lot of different recipes. So I'm going to cut them up and freeze them, and for things like fajitas and Mexican dishes that we really enjoy, and also for stir fries and for breakfast hash. So we're focusing the majority of our energy on bell peppers, a plethora variety of bells, and also a few spicier peppers. I'm not a real huge fan of spicy peppers, but a few things here and there, I do like them. So for the most part, spicy peppers just aren't our cup of tea, so I try to not grow too many of them because they just don't get used the way that I would like them to get used. Loud cars, loud cars, loud cars. That car does not have a muffler. It sounds really loud. Ooh, that was flat. Okay, so this year I'm going to be starting 9 different kinds of peppers, and I'm really excited about them. They look really good. I had some of these last year and they were really awesome, and some of them are totally new to me, so cross fingers that we like them. They look really good and I'm really excited. So we're gonna start with spicy peppers because there's not very many of them that I'm going to be starting. So I'm gonna be starting 7 sweet peppers and 2 hot peppers. The hot peppers that we're growing this year are going to be the Sugar Rush Peach, which I grew these last year and they were absolutely phenomenal. They're too spicy for me to eat raw, but when I put them in recipes, they're great. They are about the same heat level as habaneros, and they start out this like a really lightish color, and as they ripen they turn this beautiful orangey peachy color. They've got a sweetness to them and a really big kick, but I really like these a lot, so I'm going to be starting these. The next hot pepper that we're going to be starting is jalapenos. Jalapenos, they are just the quintessential spicy peppers. They're not too hot for me to eat raw, but I don't prefer to eat them raw. I like putting them in soups, salads, recipes like stir fries, and Mexican dishes. I like to dehydrate these and I kind of turn them into like a spicy pepper powder, and I did these mixed with the Hungarian blacks last year, and so good, but I'm not growing any of those this year. Got plenty from last year, so it's just the jalapenos. As for sweet peppers, they are all bells this year. I'm not doing any roasting peppers, and I'm not doing any other sizzling or frying stir-fry peppers. It's all bells because that's what we eat the most of. And last year I feel like we had an abundance of roasting peppers that we didn't really eat a whole lot of, and not enough bell peppers that we were really wanting. So bells it is. Number one is going to be the orange bell pepper from Baker Creek. I have never tried these before, growing from seed that is. However, when I'm at the grocery store, the ones that I reach for the most, that I enjoy the most, are always the orange ones. So I figured that it would be great to give these a try. They look very delicious, and the back says that there's large yields, which is great for us because Charlotte and I both love peppers. The next one that I will be trying is the sweet red bell pepper. It's from M.I. Gardner, and it just looks like the regular big red sweet bell pepper. The back says, sweet peppers are a favorite home garden vegetable. The attractive compact plants complement any gardens. The peppers are green and turn red at full maturity when the flavor sweetens considerably. So I'm really excited about these. I like red pepper. I just like peppers. I like bell peppers. So these will go right next to the orange ones. The next ones are chocolate beauty peppers. And we had these last year, and they are so good. They produce quite a few peppers, and I'm really excited about getting these started and having them back in the rotation again, because chocolate brown peppers are not things that you can normally get at grocery stores. The next one is just the regular California Wonder green pepper. It's just a normal green bell peppers. I got these from my local Lowe's, and I'm excited to give these a try. And they will go right here. The next ones are an M.I. Gardner Autumn sweet pepper, and they have the same description as the red ones, and I really just think that the only difference is the color. They're a more orangey reddish with like some streaking in there. Let's see if I can get it to focus on that. With some streaking in there, and it looks really nice. I did not grow any of these last year, but I should have. The next one is Purple Beauty bell pepper, and I really liked these last year. Charlotte really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed them. They're a really nice dark purple color, not like the bright lilac that Baker Creek has, but they're like a deep purple, and they're really delicious. And last but not least, the Ozark Giant. I actually started some of these last year, and I don't think I ended up getting any to make it into the garden. I gave some of them away, and I accidentally gave too many of them away, I'm pretty sure. And so these they start green, they turn red as they ripen. I'm really excited about these. They're supposed to be really, really big, and they look really delicious. So here's my seed starting mix. I have it with a lid on it because I don't want the cats to think that it's a litter box and go to the bathroom in it. I've actually had that problem before where I did not cover my seed starting mix, and I went to go start seeds and I smelled that very familiar cat litter box smell. So I ended up having to dump it and start over. And it's rather expensive right now, so I'd rather not have to do it again. If you go back to my videos from last year where I'm starting peppers, I actually used seed starting pods, which are the peat pods that come in little bitty discs, and you add water to them and they expand, and that is your growing medium for starting your seeds. And I really like those. However, it's harder to keep track of what you're actually growing when you're trying to grow a bunch of different varieties at the same time. because you can't really put like a plant marker in them. I tried all sorts of different ways to try and keep track of what was what, and what I had come up with is I was using popsicle sticks, like craft sticks from the Dollar Tree that I had cut in half, and then I used acrylic paint to tip the top with different paint colors, and I did a color-coded system. But I had so many different varieties that I could never remember what color went to which pepper variety. I had it written down in a notebook, but I just couldn't ever really keep tabs on it. And as I up-potted, I just completely lost track of what varieties everything was until they got into the ground and started producing fruit. And then I was able to tell what was what, and I realized that I had given away more of what I wanted to keep than I meant to. And the system didn't work for me personally, so I am not going to do that again this year, at least not for things that variety is super important on. All right, now that we've got all these stuffed, I am going to shut these back up because kitty. Put it right back under here, and let's move back up this way. So this year I'm going to be sowing a little bit heavier because I really want to have enough germination so that I can separate these out into their own separate cups and sell a few that I won't be putting into my garden. I don't want to get in over my head, so we're just going to start with a handful of extra seedlings from each variety and go from there. So I'm going to sow about 4 or 5 per cell, spray them down, cover them, and then get them under the light and heat and get them germinated. All right, so thanks so much for hanging out with me today and planting my pepper seeds. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're updated when the next video comes out. And if you're interested in knowing those 5 things that you can sow in February, if your last frost date is in April, don't forget to check out that video linked in the end screen and in the description. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.